Well, it's what's happening. It's what's happening. Top UK doctors chilling claim NHS, National Health Service, kills off 130,000 elderly patients a year. I'd like the freedom to be able to ignore the laws I disagree with, because there's some really dumb ones out there. There's some really, really stupid laws out there. But, of course, we don't have that ability. So it's a hugely consequential week for Obama, says the Politico to that. It's a hugely consequential week to America, is what we're facing. The New York Times has a story here. Supporters slow to grasp health laws' legal risks. Peter Baker came out on Saturday. Supporters slow to grasp health laws' legal risks. Just one of at least a dozen articles in the mainstream press over the weekend that are second-guessing Obama's legal strategy in defending Obamacare if it loses. And this piece from the Times is in their second column lead, which even the Politico notes is unusual for a non-breaking. This is all anticipating losing health care. Oh, no. What's Obama going to do? Oh, no. What are Obama's supporters going to? Oh, no. Obama's supporters are slow to grasp the legal risks. In a nutshell, the New York Times is claiming nobody ever questioned the constitutionality of Obamacare because it's so constitutional, even Pelosi sees it as constitutional. Now, what the Times is doing in their story from Saturday are pushing the Kardashian regime talking point, and the only problem is that nobody imagined how activist the conservatives on the court would be. That's right. When they were sitting down to write Obamacare, they never thought about whether or not it was constitutional. They arrived at that late after oral argument because they didn't think that the right wing had gone that nutcase until they heard oral arguments. And now, according to the New York Times, Obama's supporters are not prepared because they knew their law was constitutional. Now we're going to have a bunch of fruitcakes on the right that might say it isn't. And poor old Obama and his supporters aren't ready for this. So I say numerous articles like this where they are wringing their hands. Audio soundbite. Grab number 7 is Jan Crawford, the former Jan Crawford Greenberg. So you might know her. She's CBS News. She was on CBS this morning. Had a report about the possibility Supreme Court would overturn Obamacare. Charlie Rose said, Jan, if the Supreme Court does say it's unconstitutional in part or whole, who are the winners and the losers?
No one really agrees. There are a lot of people who say, and I mean Republicans who say this, that while it would be a humiliating defeat for the president, his signature legislation, he's a constitutional law scholar, if the court repudiated this law that he staked his first term on, it also wouldn't be so great for Mitt Romney either. Remember, Romney has campaigned against this law. He's saying that he's the only thing that stands between Americans and socialized medicine. So not really a clear call on who this would benefit.
What? What? What about the American people? If Romney has said he's the only guy that stands between Americans and socialized medicine, and if the law struck down, how is that not a win for Romney? Because it is socialized medicine. And what good is Obama being a constitutional law scholar when he cherry picks it? He's a constitutional law scholar who taught people how to get around it. That's what he's good at. That's right. All you got to do is be elected and then pick and choose what you like. It's easy. That's all you got to do. Obamacare loss bad for Romney. Oh, it's bad for everybody. No, it's bad. It would be a day of celebration. Do you realize? You remember I said on Friday, we had a call here. Who was it? Boehner on Thursday. Said they weren't going to spike the football if they won. And I said, he can do that if he wants. I encourage people to celebrate. don't get to celebrate liberty much anymore. I said, go for it. And there were stories over the weekend about how out of touch I that was not good for me to say that. That was tantamount to throwing raw meat to a bunch of savages. I kid you not. Limbaugh ginning up fears or whatever the hell it was. A constitutional law scholar? Give me a break. Can these people really be this stupid, ignorant? I mean, they're really this uninformed? I guess so. Bill Richardson, the former governor of New Mexico, meet the press on Sunday. They're having a discussion about the possibility of the court overturning the health care reform law. Liberals are paranoid, folks. That was before this morning. They're paranoid. They're going off oral arguments. They're paranoid. Here's what Richardson said.
I think it's a huge defeat of the Supreme Court that moves forward to strike any part down, even just the individual mandate for the American people. Just this week, several million kids got their health insurance. I think there's going to be a real uproar against a politicized Supreme Court. You know, here they're making political decisions. This is a clear constitutional issue. The Interstate Commerce Clause of the Congress dictates that this can happen. It's going to energize the Democratic base, and that is important.
I think what's going to energize the base is this Supreme Court decision today is what's going to energize the base. This Supreme Court decision this morning is going to guarantee even more Republican turnout in November. You wait. What do you mean, politicized court, Governor? It's a political. The political class has turned every controversial decision over to the Supreme Court. They don't want the final result in their lap. This is exactly, folks, it's exactly what I told you they would say. A bunch of Republicans on the court taking your health care away. Look at it, he just said it. Just this week, several million kids got their health insurance. Just this week, oh, Lordy. Just this week, several kids. You see them there playing in the dust, eating dirt. They're so poor, scrounging lizards. And just this week, they got their health care, and here comes the Supreme Court. It's exactly what they're going to do. And it's going to energize the Democrat base. Jeff Zeleny at the New York Times on Fox News Sunday. Question, let's run through various scenarios. You give me your take on what this, then that. How does it play if the court strikes down the whole law, Jeff?
If the court strikes down the whole law, there's no question that this is an immediate, at least a short-term hit for President Obama, and probably a pretty serious one. He had a Democratic House and Senate, and it was supposed to be a central achievement, and it failed.
So no matter what spin you hear, it all ends up with how it's going to affect Obama. It's all that matters to him. We got to go. Be right back.